screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Yeah, before we proceed, any questions from the previous sessions?
No questions. I tried the example that we did yesterday. I'm trying a couple of others replenishment types, so I'm still reading and going through. That is something pending yet.
Not a problem. Okay. So today we will see Markdown planning and store connections. But just to give a heads up, this Markdown planning, you will have a full-fledged Markdown planning when you have an integration with the BW system. Because the majority of the planning and the analysis is done in the BW, and that the proposal is pushed down to the ECC system. But you can also do a standalone process within BCC, but that is a very limited and more kind of a manual oriented process. So you will have to define on your own terms the proposals and work on that. But whereas when you have a BW integration, probably it does the most of the analysis because you have the entire data, right? So based on that, you can do analysis, and the system itself will can propose a proposal. So let's see what is that. So Markdown planning is this is the architecture of the Markdown planning. This is the bifurcation between the systems. Below this dotted lines is the SAP retail, and above the dotted lines is the business intelligence. So this merchandise assortment planning is inside itself a component within the BW, okay, which will cater this kind of a need. So this what does this SAP MAP component contains? All the relevant plannings that you do for your organization can be sketched out in the or drawn out in the MAP tool. So it has the strategic planning, store planning, merchandise planning, all these planning. So strategic planning is something that you define at your organization level. What's your objective? And below that, you can bifurcate that or get into the more details of the planning on store level and the merchandise level. Okay. Under the merchandise level, what store, what assortment needs to be planned for that particular season or for that particular year is what the strategic assortment planning is. And OTB planning is called as open to buy planning. So that is something that you allocate a budget on which you monitor that you don't overspend above that budget that you define. Say, for instance, in a year, you define 1 crore is my procurement budget, and you define that as in this OTP planning. Every time that you raise a purchase order, the value of the purchase order gets depleted in this budget. And once the budget is exhausted, right, you will not be able to create any more purchase orders. And based on your configuration, system will issue warning or error whatsoever.
Okay.
Understand? So in this context, you also have something called slow seller analysis or slow seller management. This particular component of MAP is particularly to cater the slow moving merchandise and clear out the inventory before the season ends. What does this markdown planning does? It's an other form of promotion, actually speaking. So promotion is something that you don't you actually fix a 10% discount or 20% discount, but you don't actually compare any sales or anything as such, right? In markdown planning, what you do is you define a rule. You define, okay, in my first 1 month or 2 months, or I mean, 3 months is the season, consider. In my first 3 weeks of the season, at least I should sell 20% of my merchandise. If I sell that, I'm going in the right direction. That then I don't need to go for any promotions or anything as such. And similarly, in the next 5 weeks or the total 5 weeks, I should have cleared at least 30% of my inventory. And similarly, and sixth week, I should clear at least 70%. If I don't clear, then I'm getting into a situation where that the inventory could pile up before the season ends. So I must clear that out. So what I can do in order to clear? So if I put a 10% reduction, will that clear off? If it didn't clear off on sixth week, then in the eighth week I put it off 20%. So likewise, you can define it in a dynamic way. You understand?
Yeah.
Whereas in promotion, you don't have this flexibility. That is something that you have to define it on a flexible manner. But whereas in markdown planning, you have that flexibility. Just in case you feel that sale is going up, system will itself will not go for the markdown. It will still uphold with the last activated price.
Okay.
It gives more flexibility. So this planning will be worked out in the slow seller management tool of BI. So it is basically it compares the last sales, right? And if this kind of tool, similar article was sold in the last season, what would be the sale? All this analysis you can do. Whereas in if you don't have an integration, you have to define a static rule, right? And that has to be defined in the retail SAP retail system directly. So that is more of an automated way. Whereas in this integration, you have more dynamic approach that you can handle. So once that markdown planning is done, you create a markdown rule proposal, and that is pushed from the top of PW to SAP ECC system. And in ECC, it creates a pricing condition records, which will be activated based on which the articles, whenever they are sold, they are referred and they are picked up.
Okay.
Understand?
So only if that condition comes up that after fifth week I have not reached my goal of 40-50%, whatever, then it will create that pricing condition and the
Correct.
promotion,
It will
then
activate.
it will
It will
push.
activate.
Okay.
It
Okay.
will activate. So this is the slow seller concept. So in order to reduce the inventory and clear out the stock, that's the reason we are going for the slow seller management concept.
Mhm.
So rule-based markdown, that is what define you define a target sales ratio, and that is compared with the actual sales ratio. Then the system will generate a suitable markdown proposal to reduce the sales price of the articles. Whereas if it is a manual approach, you will have to do the manual thing proposal if you don't have an integration. You understood? So
Yeah.
that is the advantage of having the BA analytics tool.
Mhm.
So this is how the markdown rule or the profile looks like. So in the time window of first time window, you are expected to sell a target ratio of 35%. And if the sales ratio is less than 30%, okay, then do a 20% reduction. If it is less than 50%, don't do 35 to 50, don't do anything. If it is in the second week or the second window, target ratio is 42%. If less than 30%, do a 30% of reduction. But if it is above 30% but less than 50%, do a 20% reduction. So likewise, you can define it.
Okay.
Okay. So in this case, target first is 35, 42, and 55. In the third week of September, it is only 43%. So what does it say? Sales ratio is above 30%, but it is less than 50%, right?
Mhm.
So actual is 43%. So it proposes a 20% proposal.
Okay.
So this is the markdown profile looks like. So for you can define or select the articles based on season or season year or category or fashion grade. Based on that, you can define the markdown profiles. Okay, so then markdown profile is then transferred to the ECC system, and based on that attributes, you check that is assigned to the email. Normally, the master data will be in sync, right? BW and ERP. So it checks whether that attributes are there in the system. Just a sanity check.
Okay.
So when you create a pricing condition, the pricing reference article is very crucial. Based on that only, the pricing will be uh, or passed on to the child articles or the variant articles, right? So for a generic article, how what is the pricing reference article makes a crucial one. So we have seen that, right? Pricing reference and pricing profile. Based on that, the pricing will be followed. If it says generic articles, I mean the variants will also follow the generic article, then this is how it will be. Suppose if price variants are priced differently, then based on that you will have to define. Okay. So variants of the generic article is what the These are the variants of the generic article. They have the pricing reference article as their own generic article.
Mm.
So if the same thing is flown to the all the variants.
Okay.
So this markdown profile, once they are created at article level or at season level and they are transferred to ERP, they just check possible what are the levels this markdown profiles could be assigned. Generic article level you can assign, single article level you can assign, at the variant level you can assign, right? So at any level you can assign. So the thing is like level of the markdown profile assignment should be equal to the level of the pricing article assignment. Meaning, if the generic article in the previous example, if you see generic article and variants have the same price. I mean, they will have the same price. So even if you create the markdown at the generic article, that will be more than enough. Suppose in this generic article, this variant has a different pricing profile, or like, consider the scenario, all the three variants have the different prices other than the generic article. Then what you should do? You should create a markdown profile at the variant level, not at the generic level. That's what the slide says. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one. So at whatever level you wanted to activate the price, at that level you have to create the markdown profile. The
Oh,
level of your markdown profile assignment should be equal to the level of the price article assignment.
okay.
So slow seller analysis, this is BW system. Just you just look at it how the slow seller analysis screens would look like. So you can select the articles based on individual article, hierarchy, category, merchandise category, fashion, grade, season, year, anything at whatever organization level is distribution chain, or you can activate the prices at the distribution chain level, price list level, or the analysis level, which is the sales organ distribution chain level, or at the site level. Okay, at this levels you can activate. So you select the articles and you create and activate the prices at any organization level. So you define when you create this. See the whatever config screens that I'm showing, these are all in the BW, not in the SAP retail. Just be aware of that. So when you create the markdown profiles, you also control what is the tolerance times that you can have. Okay, at what analysis, what level, this we have seen already, and price activation level, what level you can do. These are all the configuration settings that you define. Okay, that will define reflect in the transaction codes of creating the markdown profile. So uh, when you create a markdown proposal, you have to enrich. Okay, you have to do a data enhancements with like what is the price of the article, current price, what is the stock, what is the budget, price planner groups, what is that. So when you have these data in place already, the markdown proposal can be created and it will just do a conflict check whether if the article is there, whatever that you are created in the BI is existing in the ECC system, and whatever articles are hierarchy that you have defined matches in both BI and ECC. And the markdown proposal, if you have created in the generic article level, and suppose in case the variant is having a different pricing reference article, that conflict will be arise, right? So those kind of conflict checks it will do before the markdown proposal is transferred to the ECC system.
Okay.
So this is how the price planning workbench screen will look like. So where you can select the markdown and at what level you are going to activate that level. Okay, and you can. This is the work list screen and this is the work area screen. So here you can define what is the markdown description and what is the validity, and you can define the proposed. I mean the markdown rules are defined here. So
Okay.
this is the
This is
OTB.
again in BW, right?
BW.
Okay.
So use of budgets, as I said, this budget is nothing but that OTBs which we were talking about. So this will monitor and restrict your procurement to not overflow over the budget that you have defined in the initial season period. Okay.
Mm.
So whenever you define this budget in the BW info cubes, and that budget is actually PPW budget is the price planning workbench budget, and that is compared with the actuals uh, procurement that you do. and that is transferred. So planned and actual are compared at any point in time when you raise a procurement order. And if it is above that, then based on the configurations that you have done, either an error or a warning will be proposed. So here, if you look at it, so even when you activate it, there are two types of budgets to understand. One is the procurement budget, and one is the uh, you also wanted to control what is the maximum discount budgets that you can have, right? So that is what this is talking about, price planning or bunch of this budget talks about. Okay, so that's where when you reduce the price, plan and actual. So price is 18. Okay, so if you reduce it, the total planned budget of is $100,000. I can offer in a discount. So when you reduce it, this 18,000 consumes the budget, and it is within the allowed discount, right? Suppose you reduce a price for $24, right?
Mhm.
Then what happens? It is exceeding the budget that you have, so it issues a error.
Okay.
Okay, so it is like actual price is 80, you're reducing it to 64, which is leading it to your 24 dollars loss, right? So which will lead to your 24,000 extra uh, loss that you should actually manage. So if that is contained within the budget that was planned, no. So it issues an error. So customizing for the budgets. So it's all just BW. Just have a look at it. How I mean, it's not that necessary. Just to make sure that you understand the entire flow. So budget types for PPW, you can define what type of budget you are defining. If it is a procurement budget or discount budget, then based on that, at what level you want to define, and key figures of each process. This is BI, and once the budget is created, you activate it and transfer it to the ERP, and here also you activate it. Okay, here you
Mhm.
don't have any work to do, it's just to activate it, because once you do the customizing in BW, it is automatically created via the synchronization.
Okay.
So this is the high level configurations that you do need to do within our system. So budget level, at what level you want to define, an approval procedure is there or not, or you are not going to use any budget. That is alone you need to define here. Okay. So price planning type. So this is because we create a price plan and the BW and transfer it, right? So the same configuration has to be mirrored here. Okay, at what level you are going to um what level you can reduce the prices, and explicit what is the purchase price determination sequence, sales price determination sequence, those needs to be created in ERP.
Okay.
So markdown process within 2000, within ECC, I will show you directly in the system, so it is very convenient for you. So when you create any sales price, automatically you know that pricing document gets created, right? Similarly, when you activate a uh, this markdown also, you get a pricing document created. Okay, and that pricing document. So suppose in case you feel that at certain point in time you want to overrule the price that is being transferred from the BW, that is also possible. You can simply accept the proposal what is proposed, or you can also manually override. So manual price changes, how to do it. So based on the proposal, it proposes 64, but you don't want to say, you see that I wanted to still reduce it and make it to 50. Can always do that. It is just a proposal. It is up to us to define whether to go with the proposal or to go with the manual changes. So when you go to a manual prices, you create a this is the process flow. Create a pricing planning document. Select the organization level at what level you want to activate. You select the articles, then transfer the articles, then manually change the prices and save the pricing document. Okay.
Okay.
So comparison of manual price changes and markdown price changes. Markdown proposal from the slow seller management flows from the BW to ERP system. Articles are determined from the markdown proposal itself. You don't do select anything in the ECC. Price change proposal will be proposed automatically. You can automate once you just accept it, automatic creation of prices at the organization sets. In manual price changes, which we will see now, you will not have any markdown proposals. You will have to manually select the articles in ECC. Manually, you will have to write the prices, and manually, you have to activate the prices at what organization level you want. So there will be no proposals at all. It will have to be everything needs to be done on manual activity, which
Okay.
we will see in the system now. So this is just post processing. So what happens when you activate the price? The price goes down, price is reduced and changed to the promotion period. And after that, the promotion period, the old price will get activated. Okay, that is it. So now I'll quickly show how the Markdown proposal works manually. Where is SAP? So Markdown types. Okay, so this is the Markdown type. So let's create a new one. ZK01 more. A rule we have not created, we will delete it. Round on price, charges, price points, let it be. What is our sales organization? ZK01 ZR, correct?
Hmm.
So saving this. Okay. So so this Markdown profile assignments, everything is activated once you have the BW integration. So here you define if you want to activate it. Then the Markdown profiles that you created in the BW, right? The
Hmm.
same thing you have to mirror it here.
Okay.
Okay. So for manual, we don't need anything. We just created the Markdown profile, Markdown type. Now we just need to create a Markdown rule. So Markdown rule, this rule is a what? In case of automatic, these things will be proposed from the BW. Whereas here, we are going to create on our own. WMR1. This is the transaction code where you go and create a Markdown rule. Okay, here you go and create from all. Okay, so on calendar week 0, it will be expected date is 100%. 100 percentage of sales price. So nothing. So on 10th day, okay, I must have sold at least 20%. Okay, if I don't sell 20%, um, should that go in a descending order or ascending order? Just a minute.
Descending.
Start price of material is 100. The percentage rate always refer to the original price. So it should be 80%, right?
Hmm.
80. On 20th week, I must sell 60. So here I must sell at least 40%. And third week, I must have sold at least 40%. If I don't sell, it should be 60%. Okay.
So if I don't sell 60% by calendar day 30, price will drop to 40%.
40% of the price will be only active. That is 100 rupees means 40 rupees it will be the price.
Yeah. Okay.
Now save it. Oh, it should be, oh shit. it should be more totally 100% only. So I should say 20, because it should, when we calculate this, it should be 100% only, right? Percentage of sales. So it's leading 120. So it should be 20, 40. It should be 10%. Maybe 90, right?
Mm.
What I can say.
Maybe 10, 30, 60.
Yeah, correct. So I should sell this way. So now if I save it, it saves. Now I come here. There is the markdown type. Go in, enter. I give mark. Okay, this is the markdown pro. Save it. Come back. Come back. So let's go and create the markdown profile. Okay, WMF1. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
markdown plan. Okay, markdown type is ZK01. Enter. So which article we wanted to select, that we have to select. So ZK01 ZR. At what level articles I'm going to select, that is up to us. Either you can select it, as I said, merchandise category, assortment, season year, any levels you can select.
Okay.
So here we will select at individual article level. So here is the article. Okay. Now select the article and execute it. So system, based on the markdown rules, it will bring. Okay. So this is the final sales price that we have it today.
Mm.
Now, if I go to the distribution chains, it will say, oh, sorry, retail planning. It will say, okay, first day, it will be 100%. If I don't sell 80%, it is 8 rupees 80, 10% reduction. You understand? 10 days later, 20 days later, 30 days later. This would be the
Okay.
price
Okay.
automatic. So this is more of a manual process. Now you understood?
Yep.
But this could be automated with good algorithms and good planning stuff. So,
Okay.
so now, okay, now I will save this. Change. So header data, what does it say? So what is the rule that I have used? One, where it is valid from? What is the sales organization? Everything. Okay. It comes from the markdown, this markdown type configuration, what we have used. Now, if you go to the detail planning, at what level? Now I wanted to activate the price. Correct.
Mm.
So I can activate it one by one also, or I can activate on for all the seasons. Now itself I can activate. So if I select this and click on activate sales price, so the price calculation found 4 articles were correctly, 0 is faulty. Okay, so the price calculation is done. Now come back. Yes, so the price activation is done. Now you can go and check the pricing condition records. So slash n VKP slash O VKP. Okay, what is the article? 1005. Correct.
Yep.
So how many days we have activated?
30
What is
days.
the date? Until 10/11. Correct. So
Okay.
we will check until 10/11. It's completely valid period is there, so everything will come. So all the prices have come. Correct. So it still goes and updates the standard pricing condition. It's not a promotion condition. So that is why it is updating weekly 0. Okay.
Mm. So after 10th November, it will by default go with $4.40.
$4.40. So from 21 to 30, it will go to 8. From 31 to 9/11, it will go to 660.
Mm, okay. But this should only be activated if you are not achieving those sales targets, right?
Exactly. This is manual, right? So you cannot compare the sales.
Okay. So this will anyhow hit the prices, whatever the
Correct.
case.
It will hit it. So that is why what they do in the manual activity is they don't activate the entire price. Here they just
Okay.
select the first one, they activate it, and they watch out what is the sale. Then they go and select the second one and activate it.
Okay.
Here we activated everything just for
Hmm.
showing you, but in real time we can just select one and activate it.
Okay.
This is how the Markdown works. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty straightforward one only because it's manual, right? So it's very within. You cannot do much of any activities. Okay. So now we will proceed to the next chapter, which is the store connection. So So store connection is our what do I say in retail 30 to 40% of, or I would say in sales 100% happens here only because we don't do wholesale, right? So no sale order delivery billing. So everything whatever sales that happens, it happens at the till where you go and bill your items at the store.
Hmm.
Right? So the whatever sale that has happened, it is brought back to the ECC system, and why we need to bring that and how critical is that is because you have to know what is the inventory that is sold for that day, right? What is the pieces that have been sold and how much of inventory has gone down, and based on that only you know what is your requirement, right? Even for your replenishment planning, this process is very crucial. And
Right.
moreover, your bookkeeping system is SAP. It's not the third party system, so you must register what your sale is on a daily basis, right?
Hmm.
So with upcoming this omni-channel retailing and all those stuff, the amount of it's not the amount, it's that the frequency of the data that you take it, right, and process your sale, this has to be very, 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 very high frequent. You earlier in those days, what we used to do is like we used to take once a day the sale. Whatever once uh, store is closed down,
Hmm.
they just send all the prices, or I mean, sorry, not all the prices. Whatever sales they have happened for the whole day, they send it on one single shot. But of late, this has become more obsolete, and the because every retailer wants to know what is my current inventory, right?
Hmm.
And with the advanced channel retailing like omni-channel and all those stuff, because in case of Zara, you take Zara, they have stores, they have also have the online, right? Same DC and same stores, same DC is going to cater both online and store customers. And you have something called click and collect from the stores. So there are so many aspects that are going in retail today where getting the data from the point of sale very frequently becomes more critical. So if I say click and collect, I must know what is the stock at that particular point in time for at that store, right? So I must immediately take the data. So this frequency has become almost more real time now. So the best part now we take is every 5 minutes we take the sales data.
Okay.
So that way we just try to keep the inventory mirrored in SAP. So basically, how it happens is like there are two types of data that we push and we receive, right? One is we push the data, that is all the master data are created in SAP, and we need to mirror those data into the point of sale as well, right? So that is when you scan, system will detect, okay, when I scan this barcode, this has to be related to this article number, and when
Hmm.
this article number, what is the price? Or if during this time I have any promotion price activated, yes, or I have any bonus price active, everything will be have to be linked with the master data, right? So it has to be in sync. So these data we push it, and what we take it is all the sales relevant informations we take it. So whatever data that we push from SAP is called an outbound data, and whatever data that we take into SAP from point of sale system is called the inbound data.
Okay.
So So normally the connections are the architecture of how the system or the system landscape looks like is like the point of sale system. This is the each point of sale system will be connected to one wide area network, and all the transaction files they take it will be passed on to this wide area network, and they have a central back office where they are placed, and that files might be in a different format which is not understandable by the SAP system, right? SAP can only understand IDOC or it can understand XML, correct? So
Okay.
these are the two formats it can understand. So suppose in case this is putting in a RTF format, rich text format, or it is a plain text. So this will be placed in a wide area network, or it is a central office folders. It can be any FTP or anything, and from there it will be pulled into the middleware system, and this middleware system will convert the data format. If it is a text format, it will be converting that and generate an idocs, and it will be pushing to the SAP systems. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
So the middleware is the system that actually handles the transformation of the data from a source format to a target format.
Okay.
So the most of the work goes here in the middleware, because here in point of sale he might call that item as a article as a product, correct? But we might call it as an article, which is the matnr field. So
Mm.
I must, when the middleware must map, when whatever value that I receive it in product must be transferred to the field matnr under the E1 SAP header field of the IDOC, right? So under this header structure, under this field, this value should be mapped. So this kind of mapping, field mapping, must be done in the middleware. So that is why I said most of the, or like 70% of the work, or 70% of your success depends on this successful mapping. So at real-time implementation, customers or the consultants from the point of sale system will come and sit. Middleware guys will be there, and we will be there, and a joint workshop will be conducted, and we will map what are the fields. So suppose in what, how does it work, or how does it go is, okay, now I wanted to take a sale. If I wanted to take and process a sale in my SAP system, what are the things that are necessary? Any cases
For sale.
for sale?
Mm. First of all, obviously the article,
Correct.
whom it is sold, from where it is sold, the
Yes.
quantity,
Correct.
price, if
Yes.
any promotions were applied, what were the
Yes.
promotions then, and if it is delivery or what is the channel?
No,
Deli-
it is only store, right? It will be always there will be no
okay.
delivery. We will be selling it directly. You are almost there. What we will do is, yes, article, yes, we need it. How much quantities it is sold, yes. Whether it is a standard price or whether it is a promotion price, right?
Mm.
So for the point of sale, he doesn't know standard price or retail price. He knows, okay, a promotion was there, correct?
Mm.
He doesn't know what is the standard price, because like in SAP we have different two condition types to differentiate if it is a promotion price or a standard price. But for point of sale, he doesn't know those things and all, right? He know, okay, this article is 550 rupees. Is there any promotion active? Yes. That's the tick he knows, right? So those things will be discussed, and we will say, okay, if a promotion is there, map that price to a VKA0 condition type. If it is no promotion is there, map that condition to VKP0 condition type. Likewise, mapping we need to do. You understood?
Okay. Yep.
That is the thing that we need to do. Okay. That was the, for both inbound and outbound processing, this is the system landscape. Okay. So now earlier days we were using this other middlewares like IBM middlewares, ICC and all those stuff. But of late, SAP itself has its own middleware, which is called the process exchange or process interchange, XIPI. Okay.
Hmm.
And they use that converters.
Okay.
So what is the outbound processing? As I said, any data that flows from SAP to a point of sale system is called the outbound data. What are the data that we normally push it? All the master data, like article data, article hierarchy data, and all those stuff. and price changes. So today I might have a standard price. Even the standard price could change over a period of time, right? So
Hmm.
those things information also must reach the point of sale. And similarly, if any promotions created, that price changes also must be pushed down to the point of sale to have that prices active, correct?
Okay.
So these are the outbound data that we push it to the point of sale system. And inbound data, what are the things we take? Everyday sales we take, right? And if there are suppose a stock movement from one store to the other, okay, those stock movements must be also transferred. And if there are any returns from the customer, then you actually add up the inventory. So that also must be sent to the point of sales, I mean SAP system to understand, okay, there is a return from this customer, and you add put that in the quality inspection and inspect. If the stock is okay, move that to an unrestricted use. Or if there is a damage, block it and block the stock and scrap it, right? So these things must be sent to SAP.
Okay. So one question now, how will the point of sale system or the end system know that, uh, let's pick one article, I don't know, a shoe, size 10 shoe. If it is not there in the inventory, how will the POS system know, how will it block the sale if it is not there in the inventory?
No, it cannot block, because first of all, it has to be physically present in the store, right?
Hmm.
Because customer will pick and only come and bill it. If the item is actually not there, it will not be available at all, and the customer cannot pick it up, right?
What about in the online?
In the online, the stuff is different. Suppose, see, there are two aspects. I'll tell you. In the store, first let's talk about store,
Hmm.
where the physical stock and the system stock are equal, so no issue,
Hmm.
correct?
Right.
But physically stock is there, but systematically somehow the stock is not there.
Hmm.
But the customer has brought. Now what you do? You cannot say the system in system I don't have the stock, I cannot bill it, right? You will
Hmm.
bill it, but that will be brought as a negative stock. You remember?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Allow negative stocks we did.
Fashion MM 42. Okay. In logistics. So that is why only in store level we will enable the negative stock, not at the DC level,
Hmm.
because that will actually dissolve the purpose of maintaining the inventory management at the DC level. At DC level, always the stock should physically and systematically should match. Here you have something called a negative stock. You enable this.
Hmm.
So a system will bring and will post with -1 quantities since negative stock is allowed. But what we will do, we will do a physical inventory and we will correct it. We'll
Okay.
bring. Suppose in online, you online actually system, customer is not seeing it physically, but he is actually virtually browsing it in the browser. If it says that a stock is there, okay, he will be trying to allow to post the order. I mean, he will be allowed to place the order, correct?
Hmm.
So in olden days there was a problem. So at that time, what they do, they will once the order is received, they will try to see in the DC whether the stock is there. If the stock is not there, then they will cancel the order and they will repay the customer. But in recent days, there is online system which is the online commercial portal, e-com portal, and you have SAP, ECC, right? Now we have a system called CAR which is coming in between, and this car will do a real time inventory check whether that stock is there or not. It is capable of doing those stuff, and that will replicate whenever the customer is doing any action in the uh, e-commerce portal, like he is adding to the cart or he is doing a checkout or he's going to do a payment. It will do a real time check at the SAP system and see if that stock is there or not. If it is not there, it will immediately say stock is not there.
Okay.
That's the new area, which is called, you have something called
That's
omni-channel article availability and sourcing, which is a component in car, which will do this.
okay.
That is called OAA, omni-channel article availability and sourcing.
Okay. All right. So we
That is
never
another.
push the inventory data. We now have car systems to.
So how it happens is like from car ECC, we
Hmm.
take the data to car. Okay.
Okay.
So there are three types of source. One from source is like one from store we can take, one from DC we can take, one from external vendor we can take, consignment stocks and all those stuff.
Hmm.
Dropship and all you can take it. So from these three, we will take it and keep it in car. And all the sales that are coming from point of sale will directly hit car. Okay. So now I know the real time stock. What is that? So in Mardi, I have this many 10, but unprocessed sale, that is which is not transferred to ECC, I have 5. So 10 minus 5, 5 is my real stock. I have it in the store.
Right.
So only 5 customers will be able to place the order.
Okay.
That is, and that's how it is controlled. And that's an advanced feature.
Okay. And as soon as the sale goes through or it is completed, it will go and update real time in ECC also.
No, yeah, it will see that's a complex architecture. What happens is like when Hybris, a customer pays the order, a permanent reservation will happen in EC's car.
Hmm.
The order will be created as a sale order in Hybris and it will be pushed to ECC, and sale order will get created, and that sale order will block an availability. So that is how it will work. It's a complex form. So that's
Okay.
an separate ocean. So that is like different approach we will follow. It's not a conventional approach. That is a
Okay.
new, that car system was introduced like 4 years ago,
Hmm.
and OAE is very, 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 very new in market.
Okay.
Almost hardly 10 to 20 customers in the world only they are using it.
Okay.
It's a booming one actually,
Okay.
and I'm working in that only now.
Oh, OA.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I can give you a brief presentation. Maybe later I can give you maybe next week or sometime when you
That
are
would
free.
help. That
Yeah.
would help.
So this is the inbound processing.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh shit. So how we can connect other options? What are the other landscape options we have? All the individual point of sale systems are connected to a central server, and that central server transfers to a backend system, which is the middleware, and middleware converts it and sends it to SAP retailing system directly. Or point of sale system connects to a middleware, and middleware transfers it to a retail directly using a SAP PI, not other middleware systems.
Mhm.
Or it can, what you do is, this is the new age way of doing it. All the point of sale systems connected to the point of server, and point of sale server system server will transfer the data to BW system, where we have the POS DTA or POS data management, POS DM system. Today this system is replaced by SAP car. Okay. So this data will be transferred to car system, and from car we will aggregate the data and we will transfer the data to the retailing system. What do you mean by aggregation? Aggregation. When I say aggregation, what do you mean? What can you infer?
Mm, I don't know.
Okay. So, say for instance, you go to a Reliance Fresh store. Okay.
Mm.
You can you imagine how much of how many kgs of rices each person, or like let's say how many customers would walk in daily and take Boost 500-gram pack. And is it
Right.
something that is necessary for us to understand how many customers have picked article one by one bill wise? I need. I don't need it, right? For
Mm.
retail, I just need what is the total quantity that has been sold on Boost and what for what price. That's all I'm interested. I'm not interested which customer bought what, those things and all. It is not required, right?
Mhm.
Because that will actually pile up the data in the retailing system. It will say for each transaction, I go and buy 500 gram of Boost, you come and buy. So there are two separate transactions. So I don't need two different messages to get and hit the SAP retail system. Instead, I aggregate at the article level. Okay, this article, how much is being sold in the last 5 minutes? Total quantity, total value. That's it. That is more than enough for retailing system because I'm just booking the sale, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And book the sale, automatically the inventory also should be coming down. That's all I need in retail. All
Right.
the analytics part I can keep it in the analytics tool, which is the BW system. So that is why all the data, individual data, are transferred to the point of sale system. I mean, POS DM or car system, and they will aggregate and send the aggregated informations to the retailing system.
Okay.
Okay, that's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the end-to-end architecture flow. Maybe I can show you this. So point of sale, each point of sale till system will have a database connected, and that database system will store the entire file sale of that particular store because each store can have 3 or 4 tills, right?
Mm.
And that will be connected to a central server. That central server will have the uh, raw files, and that files will be pushed to the middleware system. You just take that as a middleware. It's not PA, or it can be ICC, it can be IBM middleware, anything for that matter. And this middleware system will convert the data into an understandable format, either it's an IDOC or XML or WAPI or whatever it is. And the data will flow come to POS DM. And in POS DM, we will actually, what is the advantage of using POS DM or car system is like, all the master data will be there, right? So it can understand whether the article that you're sending is correct or not. Okay, and it can do auditing, whatever payment methods that the customer has done is actually correct, and the total that he has sent, and what he has bought 5 products and he has paid 100 rupees, but the total of 5 products is bringing 110. There is a discrepancy, right? So
Mm.
these things and all car can detect. Okay,
Mm.
car will detect and it will fail that message, and immediately you can go back and reach out to point of sale and say this particular point of bill was sent wrongly, you re-trigger the file correctly. So they will re-trigger it and we can process that message likewise. So all the cleansing and auditing can be done in POS DM, and immediately after that they will do an aggregation. As in, what I mean is like they aggregate the data at the article level, what is the total sale and what is the total quantity, right? And they will push the data to the ECC system, and we will process that message, and we will create one article document and one financial document. Financial document will book the sale, and article document will bring down the inventory. Clear?
Okay.
And after that, in case of outbound processing, we directly send from ECC system to middleware, and middleware will send the data to point of sale system.
Okay.
Okay. So this is like during the outbound, what are the data we have written? That is what I've written, just for your information. And in inbound, so like in outbound, one important thing is like you create a price, right? And automatically you change the price only in the retailing system. So system should automatically detect that there is a change in the price, and that price needs to be pushed to the point of sale system. Okay, that
Okay.
is actually done with the help of change pointers, right? Change pointer is a concept. What we will do is like when you create a master data and you initiate a master data, when you initiate that full load processing, after that system will keep a track whether there is a change in that particular master data or not. If there is a change in that master data system, you change the price, for instance. Okay, you change the price from 10 rupees to 5 rupees. That change in price will be logged as a change document in the change document tables. So whenever you run this periodic job, daily job, system will see and go and look into that first change document tables. What are the change documents are there? In that change document, whatever changes are there, that will be pushed to the point of sale system.
Okay.
That is the how it is like. So system determines which data has changed up to the current date and which data has changed during the configure runtime. Then system will automatically distribute data to at periodic intervals to the point of sale system in the store. When I say automatically distribute, you have to manually, you have to schedule the job periodically. That is what you mean automatically distribute. Okay.
Okay.
So system formats the data specifically for individual store, which means each store only receives that is relevant to that particular store. So you can use several servers that simultaneously format data, which increases the performance.
Mm-hmm.
So in inbound, these are the different data that we can receive. Okay, sales data, payment list data. What are the payment methods he has used? Gift card or credit card? What is the credit card and all those stuff, and all other what is the good movement data and all those relevant stuffs we can receive. So in inventory management, sales data is used to update the stocks in the individual stores. In billing, we actually book the sale and we will do the financial accounting and profit center accounting based on the way we wanted it. And that will be used for replenishment because it will record the historical sales data, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in BW and other stuff systems, you can use that data to do analysis.
Okay.
So this is the POS DM. So in BI, since all the data is directly flowing into BW system, you can do sales figure analysis directly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something I have already explained to you what this POS data management is actually capable of. So this pipe engine, this is the POS inbound processing engine. This is the main component in POS DM system, which actually handles this sales data processing. Okay. The advantage of using POS data management is like since it is a part of POS DM system, BI system, it can handle huge volumes.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the different IDOC types that you can use it in the system. In case of outbound type, the article master can be sent via this IDOC. EAN messages can be sent via this, assortment list via this, credit vendor master, customer master this way. Okay, and T code for processing different data. Okay, and T
Mm-hmm.
code for outbound processing. These are the different outbound messages. So if I take you to the system directly, so this is the transaction where you actually outbound your data. Okay, so to which sales organization and to which store you want, okay, you can give it. And if you are going to transfer an individual article, you can select article, or you can just select the merchandise category and all the articles under that can be pushed to the outbound system. Or if you want to just to transfer EAN, you can just select. Or if you want to transfer only promotions or bonus buy, you can do that bonus buy here. Okay, promotion discounts you want to do, you can do that. So this is how. So, but when you transfer it, all the data that from SAP go to the third party system via IDOCs, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that IDOC must be created. How the IDOC structure looks like. Okay, for instance, WE60. So ARTMAS 060. Only 05 is there. Okay, you display this. This is the how the IDOC will look like. So in this IDOC, it's a technical container which carries the message. Okay, so it contains different segments. So it is these are the different segments: header segment, variant key segment, characteristic segment. Okay, likewise. So now in the material head segment, if you see, these are the different fields you have: article number, article type, merchandise category, article category, all the characteristics. So the entire information that is relevant to that article master will be carried in this Atma side and will be pushed out. Clear?
Okay.
So if I want to push it, first I need to create the partner profile, WE20. So for instance, my customer is, you have different types of partner functions as a customer or a vendor, or it is a logical system, or it is a business partner. In our case, it is a customer. Store is a customer, right?
Mm.
I can do, I can copy this to a partner number. Our store is ZST1, right? And create KU. Here we have. So all our outbound IDOCs goes via WP underscore PLU IDOCs. Okay. And inbound data, we can take it via WP. UUMS or WPU. This is the aggregated data, okay, that we receive at the aggregated level. Similarly, okay. Now, if I go to WPMA, sales organization is ZK01, correct?
Mm.
ZR ZST1 transfer data. Okay. Click on this. No recipient was able to be selected. Now what we need to do, we have defined this. Next thing is we have to go to WB02 ZST1, go to point of sale system and create an outbound profile and inbound profile and assign that. So let's define the standard itself now. Save it. Okay. IDOCs are not created. Does not have to be created. Some kind of issue could be mm, outbound profile. This is done. What else could be there? Partner profile in W20. Um, Trigger file is triggering, but IDOC is not getting generated. Not sure why. This the customer. Okay. Or otherwise we'll do this way. We can go to BD10 and we can also send the materials this way. Okay. Artmas, Navigator Systems, send article info. Econ. What nonsense is this? Okay, one IDOC is created. Now let's go and see the IDOC W02. Today, one Artmas IDOC would be generated. Okay, here it is. So 1005 or T. Okay, this IDOC article is created. So it brings all the relevant information relevant to the article and send it to the store. Okay, it's a very huge IDOC. So it sends. This is how. So in the middleware, they will map this fields to the target understandable format, and that will be consumed and processed at the store level. Okay.
Okay.
Suppose I wanted to receive an inbound IDOC, and let me try to show how one. I'll try to. What do I say? I'll try to mock one sale data. Okay. WPUK. Okay. This is the inbound mocking tool. So I'll try to do. I'll try to do an aggregated sales. Before that, do I have did I have WPUUM side of in the inbound?
Yep.
Yes, I have. So no worries. So let me put 1000. Number is the side of invoice to quantity is 11 rupees. Nothing. So I put USD. So here nothing. Okay, now let me try to process this. Now one inbound IDOC will get generated. Actually, what is coming into ECC? This is a simulation tool
Hmm.
just to understand our all our work thing is working or not before we do an actual enable our integration.
Okay.
So this will generate one WPUUMS IDOC. IDOC 256036 is generated. Okay, this one. So it has one article on this particular date or sold for this much. So, but this IDOC has failed because IDOC could not be processed. So, what is the IDOC? Why this has gone into error? Let's check here. What is the inbound IDOC number? So it says code 1001 is not allowed in the segment. Okay. So I should give a right one. WPUK 1000 is not allowed. ARTN.
Article number is wrong.
I have to give article correct. ARTN is right. So 256037 is generated. So this also has failed. So what is error? Document saved. Error in account determination. Okay. So it says this is error in account determination. So there is a FI error because it is not actually what happens is like when you process a sale, it creates one article document and FI document. But in FI
Hmm.
document, there is an error in account determination. Document 051. So there is some issue with the so this is a account determination. But let's try to Ours is what is our chart of account? Hmm, I don't know that also. Spain, Hungary. We are using US, right?
Hmm. There's no US.
We copied which sales organization? C10 or what is that? Do you remember?
Sales organization.
Mm,
Mm,
some kind of R300 or something like that.
R3, yeah, I recall something like R300.
Mhm. Account determination, that is an issue for sure. That's the reason. What is our sales organization? ZK01. Okay, storage location. Now the error has changed. Storage location 001 is not supported. Check your entry. Okay. Now I know what is the issue. SCRO, CP reference ING, sales and distribution, POS interface, inbound. Where is the POS inbound profile? We used SAPD, right?
We use what?
We used SAPD, correct, in the store master. This one only we used. Remember? Or no?
No, no. Oh, yes. Remember. For inbound, outbound, we used SAPD.
Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to check or double validate it. Yeah, SAPD. So in that standard storage location would be 1001 MB. That is aggregated sales transaction. Storage location. Okay. 1000. This is just to ensure once the IDOC comes, all our existing configuration with this FI and all relevant configurations are correct or not. That's what we are doing it with this
Okay.
simulation. I think it is processed. Yes, see, processed. So
Mm.
it creates one article document and one billing document. Okay. So
Okay.
this article document will bring down the inventory. Register one sale has happened, so bring down one inventory. And in billing document, it will see Apple 251 movement type. This one 251 movement type. So this is what it is defined here. See what should be the movement type for sale, what should be the movement type for returns, okay, from which storage location it should take,
Mm.
okay, all these things. So
Okay.
now the configuration is updated. So 251 material sale is happened, and now in billing document sale has been booked. Okay, one quantity total value is this one, and accounting document is also generated. You can select the accounting overview. So in the accounting document, what GL that we defined in VKOA, that will be mm, VKOA. General only we defined, right?
Mm.
So for ZK01, where is it? 41,000. Okay, got it?
Okay. Yeah.
So sales revenue is booked.
Okay.
That is how it works when the sale is processed.
Okay.
So this requires a lot of technical details. So you must have a good understanding of the uh, iDocs and field mappings and all those stuff. So this requires some time. So just understand how the on a high level it works. So it will help you out. So if
Okay.
something happens, where you should go and refer is basically inbound profile only. In case of any issues, you have to come down to the inbound profile. So that is under SPRO. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
SPRO, sales and distribution. Under sales and distribution, you have something called POS interface. Under that inbound, you have everything. Okay. If
Okay.
I used an aggregated, if you're not using aggregated, you should go for the this one, sales per receipt. Yeah, control sales per receipt. Okay. If you are using WPU, you born IDOC. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
when you mark the IDOC, you have an option aggregated sales or sales per receipt. If sales per receipt, it will generate a WP born IDOC. If it is aggregated sales, it will generate a WPUUMS IDOC, MS IDOC, which we were testing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's it. So I was able to I managed to show you both the inbound and outbound IDOCs generation and processing.
Okay.
Okay, then I will end here. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can go take your time, digest the stuff that we have been seeing, and maybe if you have any questions, you can come back.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
All
So
right.
then I will end the class here.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.